Poverty is black and Latino and Hispanic people in this country, but poverty also includes a lot of white people in America.
Finally, you get to see the true America. The stipulation has always been that black people are lazy, that black people are on welfare. Well, guess what? A lot of poor white people in the red states are now crying that they're not getting the EBT money from the EBT cards. Why? Because they are on welfare. They have 7 and 8 kids. Now the truth is coming out since Trump has slashed funding for the EBT and the SNAP programs. You see how many white people now are on welfare. So all this mythical stuff about black people being on welfare, oh, it's the blacks, it's the blacks, it's the blacks. Now you've seen the real America, that it's not only black people on welfare, that there are a lot of white people on welfare also. There are a lot of white people, a lot of poor people living in those red states, and those red states that voted for Trump are now getting hit hard.
Hey, ma'am, stop.
They can't just take my food away. We got kids. EBT's gone. What are we supposed to do, starve? Don't be surprised when we start taking it. People gotta eat.
Yeah, being poor sucks. But you know what sucks more? Being poor and white. I feel like, you know, because you're going to have the mindset that I shouldn't be poor in this country at all. Like, I should have the money. Where's the money that I'm owed? You know what I mean?
We don't live above our means. I don't know what less than paycheck to paycheck is. What is that? Poverty. As a registered nurse, with a husband, with a second income. He doesn't make as much as I do, but he still works.
I am so tired of feeling helpless as a parent. Yes, my kids are grown adults. My oldest is 28, my youngest is 25. And I thought by teaching them what I learned, which is you work hard, you get a good job, you're going to get the things in life that you need, right? Worked for me, why wouldn't it work for them? Because it doesn't. Because the world has fucking changed, all right? And now I feel like I see them struggling. And before my generation comes at me, yes, I understand struggling is a part of life. We all struggled. But there's a difference between struggling and drowning, all right? So we struggled and it was tough. But you know what? We made it. We knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel with our struggle. It seems like kids today, no matter how much they struggle, they just get further and further down the water into the drowning point, all right? When I was their age, I was making less than $10 an hour, and I could afford to live on my own. Now you have to be making 6-figure salary to get a decent, tiny little place to live. So what the fuck is going on, and how do we help them as parents? I told my son, all you have to do is work hard, go to college, or join the military like I did. He went to college, got his degree, got a full-time job. He moved back in with me right when he graduated from college because he said, hey, Mom, as soon as I get a job, which was within 2 weeks of him getting out of college, maybe take me 2 months and I'll save up enough money for me to move out. Okay, cool. It's been 10 months. He has saved almost every dime and still can't afford to live. Why are one-bedroom studio apartments almost $2,000 a month? Why? Like, I just don't get it. So I don't even think that there's even classes anymore. There used to be, upper class, middle class, lower class. It's literally turning into the ultra wealthy, and then everybody else is just poor.
I want to know how the hell people in Canada are even living. I generally consider myself a positive person. I'm resourceful, but some stuff happened around the property, and while I know I'll never truly be homeless, I have family to live with, and I have options. I'm luckier than a lot of other people, but how the hell is anyone existing in Canada? I feel trapped, and I just got a good job. I started in September, but even with that job, it pays less than 40 grand a year, and it's a job that requires education, and even on that job, I still can't do shit. I can't buy anything. I can't afford the rent these days. I'm just feeling so much despair, and I know I'm normally really, really positive, but I'm just how is everyone else, and are you okay? Because the answer is probably no.
65% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 65% of Americans do not even have $1 $1,000 for an emergency fund. More than that are 2 paychecks away from homelessness. The states struggling right now the most, the people in the states, the top 2 are both red states. Number 1 is Texas. The people there are struggling financially. The second state is Florida, another red state. The people are struggling. What do you think is going to happen when they lose their job in a couple weeks? They can't afford groceries. They can't pay their car payment. They can't pay their light bill.
So, family, over the years, poverty in America was treated like some kind of racial inheritance, something white folks believed was tied to blackness, as if struggle was our natural state. And they built entire stereotypes around the idea that hardship lived in our neighborhoods, our communities, and even our lives. And family, for decades, many white Americans convinced themselves that they were immune, that the system would always cushion them, always protect them, always place them just a few steps above the people they looked down on. But reality has a way of humbling people. Now, as the economy shifts, jobs collapse, prices skyrocket, and even entire rural towns find themselves on the brink, something uncomfortable is really happening currently. Those same people who once believed poverty lived only in black spaces are waking up to an economic storm that doesn't care about race. Now, suddenly, the faces of struggle look a whole lot different from the stereotypes that clung to for the generations. And family, let's talk about what happens when a myth shatters. Because for so long, the American narrative told white folks that poverty wasn't for them. They were raised on the idea that hard work alone would guarantee stability. And they were told that their communities, especially in rural America, were untouched, protected from the hardships they associated with inner cities. And so many of them believed it. And they even believed poverty was our problem. And they believed government support was our burden on the system. And they believed also suffering was something they'd never taste. But when rising costs hit with their grocery aisles, when factory closures wiped out entire towns, when rent doubled really, when medical bills swallowed everything, suddenly the conversation changed. Now, we are seeing white families sitting in food bank lines they used to judge. We are seeing white workers applying for the same assistance programs they once said were handouts. And we are seeing white communities crumble under that exact pressure that they thought was someone else's reality. And here's what makes this moment so powerful. It's forcing an entire country to face truths it spent decades avoiding. And because poverty never belonged to black people, as they thought, poverty belongs to an unfair system, one that has always let the rich get richer while everyone else fights to survive. And now that more white Americans are feeling the weight of a broken system, we are seeing something that we have never seen before at this scale: empathy, recognition, and even regret. Some of them are even admitting that they used to believe harmful stereotypes, and now they are realizing none of it was true. And others are shocked, and others are even completely blindsided, because no one ever told them that poverty can knock on any door, even the ones they thought were safe. Now, family, we are witnessing a shift, a cultural awakening. People who once believed they were protected by whiteness are learning that economic injustice doesn't discriminate when a system is collapsing from the top down. And so the question now is, will this moment open the door for a deeper understanding, a real chance for unity, compassion, and even shared struggle? Or will it cling to denial, which still tries to distance themselves from a reality staring them right in the face? And so either way, one thing is clear: the myth is gone, the illusion has shattered, and America is finally seeing the truth. Poverty never belonged to us. It belonged to the system that kept us all fighting for scraps while pretending some people were very immune to them.